Hello everyone, I Dr. Kirti Sahu welcome you all to the video lecture on Basic of Matrices. In this we shall discuss the various concepts required to understand the concept matrices as well as various operations to be performed on a matrices along with the applications. As we all know, the matrices has plenty of applications in various disciplines of science and engineering. This term matrix was first coined by James Joseph Sylvester in the year 1850, and then it was later introduced to the world by Cayley, Arthur Cayley in the year 1860. The term matrix means the arrangement or a rectangular array. Because of its use in various fields of science and engineering and the real life problem, matrices have become an indispensable part of the modern curriculum. The various applications in a day-to-day life are, for example, in order Photoshop software, matrix is used to process the linear transformation to render the image. Whereas in computer programming, matrices and its inverse are used for encrypting messages, store data, perform queries, and use as a data structure to solve algorithmic problem. In robotics, the movement of the robot is programmed using a calculation based on matrices. So matrices is very useful to represent and manipulate the data in a tabular or array form. So why matrices? Matrices is important because it is amenable for the computer because of compact representation. It can represent a complex set of equation into a simpler one. Again, because of its vast applications, it has come up as a natural habitat of the domain in mathematics. Then shorthand representation of an array of any number as a single object and perform calculation makes matrices the more advantageous for us to simplify the calculations. So let us see what exactly the matrices means. So matrices is defined as it has many applications. Some of the applications are in aviation, aeronautics, then computer graphics, aviations, optics. You can find application in economics, encryption of the messages, then chemistry, robotics, animations, signal processing, wireless communications, defense, finance, administration. So all these are a vast areas of applications of matrices. So let us see this important concept in detail. So let us start with the definition. So matrices is a rectangular array of numbers, expressions, symbols in a row and column. Given a 4 numbers, we can put it in a one line horizontally, vertically, or group them, pair them together. So like this we can have the row matrix, column matrix, and a square matrix. So the number of rows and columns that a particular matrix has is called its dimension or the order, whereas entries in the elements of the entries in the matrix are called elements of the matrix. Note here the number of elements in each row. Number of elements in each row must be same if you wish to call any arrangement as a matrix. So this is very important to note. Now, So matrices in general containing m into n number of elements is denoted like this, right? A11, A12, A1n. So the numbers or the elements of the matrices are denoted by double script letters, where the first subscript indicates the row, second subscript indicates the column. The matrices containing m into n number of elements is called a matrix of order m by n. Here, horizontal lines are called rows and vertical lines are called columns. As matrix can contain a number, functions, symbol, expressions. So depending upon this, we can have if a matrix containing a real number as an element called real matrix. If elements of a matrix are complex number, then it is called a complex matrix. Whereas if the elements are polynomial, then it is called a polynomial matrix. Now, depending upon the type of rows, number of rows or columns it contains, or the type of elements it includes, the matrices are basically categorized into two parts. Right? First division is based on the row and the column it contains, and second division is based on the nature of element that a matrix possess. So let us see these types of matrices one by one. So the first matrix is row matrix. Here a matrix should contain only one row. It's called a row matrix. So we have the example. Obviously it could contain any number of columns. So example is this. Here we have four columns, whereas a row is only one. Similarly, if a matrix contains the only one column, then and any number of rows, then it is called column matrix. If a matrix has a same number of rows and a same number of columns, then it is called a number of rows and columns are same, then it is called a square matrix. So here is the example of the square matrix, where the number of row is 3 as well as column is also 3. Next we have a So remember here, for square matrix, if the elements Aij, where I is equal to j, that is A11, A22, A33, right? All these elements are called diagonal elements, whereas the line along which these lies are called principal diagonal or leading diagonal or main diagonal of the matrix. Elements other than diagonal are called non-diagonal or off-diagonal elements. So in the above example, the element 1, 5, 9, all these are diagonal elements. Now, what is mean by trace of a matrix? One of the important concept which we will come across frequently is the trace of the matrix. So, the sum of diagonal elements of a square matrix is called trace of the matrix. So, in above example, the sum of diagonal elements, that is 1 plus 5 plus 9, will come out to be 15. So, trace of the matrix is 15. Let us have the next definition, that is diagonal matrix. So a matrix in which all non-diagonal elements are 0 is called a diagonal matrix, whereas element in the diagonal may be all 0, but the requirement is at least one element should not be 0, right? So remember, if you wish to make this as a diagonal matrix, so all elements below the all elements other than the diagonal must be 0, but the elements in the diagonal, at least one element in the diagonal must not be 0, must be non-zero. The above matrix can also be written as diagonal, as this is a diagonal matrix, so we just write diagonal of 0, 5, 9. Similarly, a scalar matrix we can define with the help of diagonal matrix. So first of all, it should be a diagonal matrix in which all diagonal elements must be equal. It's called a scalar matrix. So here you can see the all diagonal elements are equal. So this is nothing but a scalar matrix. The next we have the concept of unit or identity matrix. So a scalar matrix means where all the diagonal elements are non-zero and equal, but condition is the all diagonal element must be 1, right? That is called a unit or identity matrix. So here this is a scalar matrix, but the diagonal element are 1. It should not be other than 1, right? If it is other than 1, then it will be simply called a scalar matrix, and if it is 1, then it is called identity matrix. Null or zero matrix means all elements of the matrices given matrices are 0 or null, right? The next we have upper triangular matrix. So obviously a square matrix in which all elements below the diagonal are 0 is called upper triangular matrix. So you can see here these are the two examples of upper triangular matrices. Now in the diagonal elements and the upper diagonal elements may or may not be 0 in case of upper triangular matrix, right? Similarly, a square matrix in which all elements above the diagonal are 0 is called lower triangular matrices. Again, condition is that the element in the diagonal as well as above the lower of means element below the diagonal may or may not be 0, right, in a lower triangular matrix. Now the next we have idempotent matrix, or matrix is called idempotent if its second power is equal to a given matrix, means a square equal to a. So here are some of the example. If you check this condition, you will find all these matrices as a idempotent matrix. So by default, the identity matrix and a zero matrices are a idempotent matrix. Involuntary matrix means a matrix where the kth power, where the second power of the matrix is equal to identity. So here again identity matrix is an involuntary matrix, and this is the another example which satisfies this condition, that is a square equal to I. Now next we have a nilpotent matrix. So a square matrix is such that its kth power is 0, where k is the least positive integer and 0 is the null matrix. So you can say that idempotent matrix, a square matrix A, such that a to the power k is equal to 0, where k is the least positive integer and 0 is the null matrix, is called a nilpotent matrix of order k. So here is the example where we find a square is equal to 0. So this is a nilpotent matrix of order 2. Similarly, we have a very useful concept a definition for a matrix, that is transpose of a matrix. So the matrix which is obtained by interchanging the row and column of a given matrix is called transpose of a matrix. The transpose is either denoted by a suffix t or a dash, right? These are the two different notations. So given this matrix, how to get its transpose? So I'll write the elements in the first column as a first row in the transpose. Similarly, second column will form the second row and third column will form the third row in the transpose of a given matrix. Now next we have orthogonal matrices. Square matrix A is said to be orthogonal if A into A transpose is equal to A into A inverse is equal to I, or we can say A transpose is equal to A inverse. So identity matrix is by default a orthogonal matrix. Here is another example which satisfies this condition, for which A transpose is same as A inverse. Symmetric matrices means where the transpose of the matrix is equal to a given matrix. So here is, this is the one of the good example. A happy girl having beautiful face goes for college. So this should be remembered in this items. So A plus A transpose and its mean, that is A plus A transpose by 2, is always a symmetric matrix. You can verify the condition. Similarly, skew symmetric matrix or anti-symmetric matrix is nothing but a matrix where we get A transpose as a negative of the matrix, right? So here what you can observe, that if I am having minus h over here, then exactly diagonally opposite to that we should have the same element with the opposite sign. That will become a skew symmetric matrices, whereas the diagonal element in a skew symmetric must be always 0, right? So A minus A transpose upon 2 is always a skew symmetric matrices. Then next, let us have the matrix operations. So equal matrices, two matrices are said to be equal if they are of the same order and the elements in the corresponding positions are same. How to add two matrices? So they can be added only if their order are same and their sum is defined as the matrix obtained by adding corresponding elements. Say for example, if I am having a matrix A and B, so I'll add the corresponding element, means say for example, the element in 1 1 position is 1 in a matrix A and element in 1 1 position in a matrix B is 2. So just add them, you will get the 1 1 position element in the resultant, that is A plus B, which is 3. So in this way you can add the corresponding elements to obtain the addition of the two matrices. Next we have the subtraction, so it can be done in the same way. For this, instead of taking the sum, we will take the difference of the corresponding elements. That is matrix obtained by subtracting each element of a matrix B from the matrix A will give you the difference A minus B. Again, the requirement for subtraction of a matrix to be possible is that the two matrices must be of the same order. Now, what is the condition required for multiplication? The condition required is that it should be conformable matrices, whereas there is no as such no condition for a matrix multiplication by a scalar. You just have to multiply each element by a scalar to obtain the scalar multiplication of a matrix. So here you can see, here I am having a matrix A with the element A, B, C, D. If I wish to obtain the scalar multiplication, that is K into A, so what I have to do, I have to just multiply each element by a K. So that gives the scalar multiplication of the matrix. Now, but this is not the case for a multiplication of two matrices. Here the two matrices must be conformable. Conformable means the number of columns of the first matrix must be equal to the number of row of the second matrix. Then only the matrix multiplication is possible. So here I have shown the matrix multiplication of the two matrices. You can verify. Now, what are the properties of matrix additions? So, matrix addition is always commutative, that is A plus B same as B plus A, then associative. You can add any two matrices and the resultant so obtained should be multiplied with the remaining matrix. Additive inverse identity is 0 in case of matrix addition and inverse is minus of A, that is negative of that matrix A. And cancellation law also holds good, that is A plus C equal to B plus C. So C is a common matrix that get cancelled and you are left with the result A equal to B. Similar type of result we have for matrix multiplication also. Only thing is that matrix multiplication is not commutative. It means AB will not be equal to BA, right? Whereas all other properties holds good. Here we have an extra property, that is a distributive property. The A into B plus C is same as AB plus AC. Cancellation law is also true. So I hope the contents which I have shared with you all will find useful and you can utilize this to understand the more concepts on the matrices. Thank you for watching the video.